We're at Corrymeela this weekend and we have been funded by the Youth in Action programme. It's a European programme through the British Council, and we have partnered with the Youth Council for Northern Ireland to explore youth-led approaches to intergenerational work. We're going to be using the weekend to look at how we might implement some intergenerational approaches from those youth organisations.
I'm here today just to have a look at the learning that's happening and see what we can take back from this day that will help me in my project and pass this on so that other people can learn from events like this.
I've been here this weekend to do a drama workshop with the youth groups. We were looking at perceptions that different generations have of each other.
It's been a very positive workshop. A lot of areas of good practice that I think that we can take back to Scotland and see what areas we need to progress and how we can share our knowledge.
Initially, whenever we went around in a circle, they all said things like vulnerable and wrinkly about the old people, but then whenever we did the drama, they showed really positive reflections on them that showed a different light.
Bringing it into the act, I think, which is kind of like it deliberates the message very powerfully, and then having those mature citizens among them, and they feel what are the perception that young people has towards them, and then again the same vice versa what old people have towards the young people and all that.
I think it's mostly important because of the social barriers that are put up, especially with media. Younger generations are generally portrayed as hoods and vandals, and working with older people, it's good to be able to show that not everyone's like that.
We enjoyed them very much.
I thought they were very funny and innocent, all done so quickly. It was very good.
I always seem to get a bit of enjoyment out of it. I mean, we were making photos of ourselves, and it could have been. Someone could have seen it as kind of offensive as well, so it was kind of good that they didn't.
The response was really positive. The spring chickens that were watching the drama pieces seemed to appreciate the humour in it, and really enjoyed getting to see the young people do their pieces. But then also the young people were absolutely loving the presentation from the spring chickens, so it was really good to see them all doing something similar and share their work with each other.
The purpose of the workshop that I did yesterday was to get people to think about what intergenerational work really is, because sometimes people think that it's about young people doing things for older people, or it's about older people doing things for younger people, but in actual fact it's about both sides, and it has to be about that mutual respect. And I'm hoping that by the end of the workshop people started to feel a bit of mutual respect, because there was a lot of natural conversations happening between younger and older people.
We also found that humour was intergenerational and universal, because we had a good laugh.
By the end of the workshop people were coming up with ideas for projects, and there was definitely, I could hear that idea of mutual benefits in the project ideas that they were coming up with, you know.
For me it was a good experience and a good learning curve, and we wanted to involve the young people, see if they could take it any further with their new ideas.
Coming along today was really very interesting, working with mixed generations and being impressed by the maturity of some of the young people and their ideas that they had. And I certainly think that creating opportunities for people of different ages to come together is certainly a very rewarding and interesting experience.
The ideas that stick in my mind were how each generation can help the other. For example, the younger generation know more about technology, where we would have more experience.
Actually, the conversations that were happening around the table were very relaxed, you know, and I was just watching the body language and watching how the groups were getting on, and I just let them continue to talk. A lot of them weren't having conversations about what I'd asked them to have conversations about, but that was better in some ways, you know, that they were just continuing to talk, you know.
It showed me that a lot of them actually are more or less like ordinary people. They're not just old, they're like the same as us, if you know what I mean.
When you meet young people in an atmosphere of sharing and exchanging ideas, you find that you get to know them far better.
I think someone mentioned it yesterday that it doesn't really work, intergenerational work, unless you keep it up, because otherwise it's a nice one-off event. But there needs to be further activities from this that will bring these people back together, maybe with some new people, perhaps doing something a bit different. They'll help encourage to keep those intergenerational bonds, and I think the learning from today has been really important as well, that's passed on, so that even though this was a one-off activity, that the lessons learned could be carried on in other areas.
If everyone's doing their generational work now, by the time we're old it'll still be going and we'll have something to do.
There's already a keen interest in the drama there. The young people have done a production working with just the young people, so yeah, it would be good to get a tutor or a drama teacher in to bring the two together to do something. I think the kids would enjoy it just as much as the older ones.
It is worthwhile, and generations should be learning from each other.
I wouldn't see the harm in not trying. It wasn't a bad idea, like, it actually wasn't a bad night. I'd come back. I would, yeah, I'd definitely come back for the Panther. The Panther was great.
I think we've really got to remember the key message is everybody was young once. So it's not always young be old, because you're going to be old one day too. So it's about getting that messages across that everybody's going to be on the same page at one point in their life. And so getting that key messages across and to take down the barriers between them.
Ooh, turn around. There's no limit to what we found. Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah.